how does intuition, how does this ability play a role in how you make business decisions?
What I will say is the strongest thing by far that I think I do for my business when it comes to using my intuition is that I connect with my heart and I ask that everything that flows through me is love. And what's been so extraordinary about that is that on my Instagram, more often than not, I mean, I have received hundreds of DMs from people that say, I don't know what it is about you compared to other teachers, but when
Hmm.
you speak to me, I feel like I can feel your heart. And I have received hundreds of messages like that. And every time that I see it, I'm like, this is the most beautiful thing ever. Because what those people don't know is literally right before I drop down to do a video, all I am doing is centering and igniting love in my heart. So to me, and I tell my clients this as well, like love is the most powerful force. There is no force stronger. Anytime that you feel scared, anytime that you have doubt, that you have fear, if you ignite the energy of love, it can break through any barrier. It can hold the space for you. It can hold you. It can bring you back to you. It's the most beautiful energy, the most powerful energy in this whole world. So I always bring people back to that. Come back to the most simplest thing that's kind of under your nose that you forgot about. And it's just love. So that's what I would say. That's my biggest piece for my business for sure. And in life, obviously.
So if somebody were to ask you, Anna, so how did you go viral on Instagram? You'd say love. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I do tell people that people have reached out and I tell them, it's been really from just speaking about the things that I honestly care about. That was a big thing. Two, igniting in love, feeling guided. And three, which I say a lot, before I even went viral, I realized something one day because I was thinking about relationships and I thought about the relationship with things outside of people. And I thought about Instagram. And I realized that Instagram's love language is just consistency. That's all it wants. Its love language is just consistency. And I have been and was then in a state of I want to show up speaking the love language to people, to things that they need. And when I made that decision, when I said, well, okay, Instagram's love language is consistency, well, then I'm going to show up and I'm going to speak their love language. And I've been consistent. And just that consistency alone has just been, it's some people call it playing the game. Like, I just think it's more of I'm in relationship, you know?
Oof, yeah, so much comes up as you share that. And what I'm present to is, first of all, it's fascinating to hear how you took the conscious social media program. The way that I see it, it's like there's a rewiring that occurs when people take it, and it doesn't immediately always manifest. Sometimes because people are not ready to take action. Sometimes because people think they want to grow and be seen, but they're actually not energetically at the capacity to be seen. And so the wiring is all there. And when you have done the other inner work, it kind of clicks in. And that's what happened in your case. And I remember during some of our one-on-one sessions, I kept feeling so strongly that you kept thinking that it's your motherhood account that needed to be the one you give energy to, the one that you grow. But I kept seeing that it's your name. It's like you is the one that needs the energy, the one that's going to blow up. And at the time, it was like hovering, I think, right under 5,000, not really moving forward. And now you were at like past 60,000 with
Yeah.
this consistency and sharing from that place of love. But it's interesting how sometimes brain interference of what we think people want hijacks how we show up, when in reality, that frequency of love and sharing from that place is the most potent thing that we can possibly do on social media. And yes, there's strategy that we can add on top, like you did with consistency and posting on Reels, which is Instagram's favorite format right now.
Right.
But that when that foundation of where is this coming from and why am I sharing this, when that's not there, I feel like it doesn't really matter. Even if it goes viral, it's going to have, unfortunately, this effect of leaving everybody who comes in touch with that piece of content a little bit empty, a little bit robbed of energy when that love is not there. So I just want to celebrate you for choosing to be seen that way, choosing to show up, showing up consistently, and courageously sharing like all the different codes and intricacies of how it works in your experience.
Yeah, I love what you said too about well, first, thank you. Thank you, because I feel very grateful. I feel grateful for that training that you did, and also just to have integrated it and really got into the flow with it. Uh, and I love what you said about the idea of how I felt that, I needed to put my energy behind motherhood. And what's interesting is since then, I've started to look at energy in a different way in terms of realizing, right? And I was kind of describing this before, that everyone has their own energy, right? But what so often we don't realize is that our energy, if we entangle it with other things, like other identities, like motherhood, right? Like I can be a mother, but I don't need to put all my energy down that role. I could just be Anna, but embody love. And that's a pretty great mom, you know? But what's interesting is that when you look at it energetically, and I'm sure you've heard this word like entangled kind of in the energy space, when you look at it and you look at people, you can kind of see energetically that they have all these things entangled around them, all these ideas of what they think they should be putting their energy around. It could be other people, it could be whatever, but it's entangled. But when you can untangle, like loosen the knot, get rid of all the extra strings that aren't them, you just see this fully formed, flowing, energetic string that is just them. And I feel like it's so interesting to think about this in terms of social media, right? Because usually I would be like, I don't know, thinking like, why are we talking about social media? But on here, obviously, it's cool because we both get it, and your listeners get it. But even on social media, when I think about it, like stepping into just me, like not in the confines of motherhood, not in the confines of even intuition or energy. It's like I'm just showing who I am. Obviously, that's what I do, but it's a part of that one string, that one thing that is me. So I love what you were like. If I just think that's such a great antidote of understanding, like, release the strings, untangle, and see just that clear channel that you are, just as you are, just
Mm.
as you are. It's so beautiful.
Mm. One of the things that Harshada, our teacher, talks about is like this backpack of identities. And I believe Ram Dass talks about it as well. And there's
Mm.
this meditation he's guided me through, where you put on a backpack and there's all these identities: sister, daughter, wife, student, like just load them all up and then just feel how heavy that backpack of identities is.
Mm.
And then there's this cathartic moment where you release it and you feel, whoa, I'm all that. And it's such a liberation.
Yes.
Ooh, so thank you for bringing us into that. And yesterday I was making a guac, and sometimes you open avocado and it's the most perfect and beautiful, and I feel on top of the world, and I'm like, what is this life? This is amazing. Yesterday was not that day. I opened up an avocado. It looked kind of fine, but the color was a little bit off. I decided to make guac with it anyway. I thought, anything that's a little bit off can be concealed with guacness. And after I mashed it, I started eating it. There was these strings. There's like these thick strings that were so kind of gross in your mouth. And I had to go like one by one and pick them out. And
Oh,
that's what you shared. That's what it makes me think of. They're just like so icky and so unnecessary. So
yes,
I
but they're
accept your
all
challenge.
over.
They are.
Yes.
Yeah. And yet we have
Yeah.
the capacity to take them out. We just have to notice them.
Exactly, exactly. It's all about awareness. It's all about just seeing, oh, look at that string, right? And it doesn't have to be this thing of like, we don't have to go into this huge story, like, why is the string there? Give it all this meaning.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, there's a string. I should probably take that off. Let
Mm-hmm.
me just put that over here.